go.
Yep.
Ready. Locked in.
Bobby said LOL.
All right, everyone. Hello and welcome back. We're here with the second semifinal match of the day. Second and last semifinal match of the day. To determine who is the next team to go on to the finals. We have What Alpha versus Lana. Now, you guys at home, you're seeing What Alpha on the right side and Lana on the left side. Anyone here who's live is the reverse.
Who didn't lock in? You didn't lock in?
I have nothing to say.
No.
Oh.
Tweeting this out.
He has nothing to say, so let's just look at the team comps for a sec.
I mean, I was just going to wait till the team comps have been decided upon before we get super deep.
Well, there's only one person not locked in. I'm sure we can figure something out.
Whoever's not locked in, lock in.
Don't feel pressured.
You are totally pressured.
Don't feel pressured.
Totally pressured.
You might have just. Oh man. What if you lose because you rushed them?
And I'm the hand of God.
Let's not let you have that power trip.
Yeah, don't ever let me have that power trip. Ha, ha.
Power trip? Oh, I see what you've made me do there.
Bad joke. Someone really needs to just like knock me out.
With the amount of gigantic jokes, like, oh, this game is going to be really gigantic.
I think
we can slip
power,
with a few trip jokes.
I'm gonna find another place to use the power trip. Either way, we are into game. Lana aggressing forward. They're actually very deep inside the. They were actually stepping very far forward. Their trip wants to get very deep inside the enemy team space. She's actually going to go for a very aggressive invasion very early, going in for the back half, doing a little bit of damage. She's going to start going onto this baby server. So if anybody shows up, she's going to be in a lot of trouble. And she's using that circle strafing. But one of the things is you actually want to circle strafe back and forth instead of in one circle, because eventually you put your back to the back. And there comes the Margrave. Trip is going to get brought down instantly. That's going to be the kill. And that is why you do not just straight circle strafe. You got to change your directions.
Yeah, and on top of that, having both Margrave and HK go back there as well was so much burst damage. Margrave was able to lock her down, and HK was just mortar, cannon, suddenly dead. I'm pretty sure the Serb helped out there as well, so that's going to be a very quick kill. Great job on the side of What Alpha to basically clean that aggression up.
Yeah, What Alpha, we're able to back up. They're actually running in a money, which we've only seen a couple of times. That could be a serious game changer for them if their money can land all of their shots. And again, they're not going with a heavy tank. They're going with a very backup reorganization team comp. They're looking to make their plays off of their picks. They've actually got their HK rotating back to deal with the trip. Trip was going very deep into the enemy base. I'm not sure why she's so deep, but she's trying to draw at least one of those targets back. Somebody's been teaching these guys the basics of back out.
Yeah, and so one of the big things that Lana has to worry about is Imani. So what Trip needs to do is make sure she puts pressure on Imani. In addition to backcapping, that's basically her job. Whenever her team wants to fight a team fight, whenever Lana wants to fight, they're going to have to put someone on Imani, or at the very least break sightlines, fight in the caves, fight somewhere where Imani can't just sit somewhere and constantly shoot you, get a ton of damage down. And it looks like Trip is heading over towards the D point. They're turning around on him. And it looks like he might be able to get out, throwing a couple of daggers at the Bloomer, but yeah, he's got out. Great movement on Trip right there, just sort of juking it out. Firefly pushes in, HK gets taken down to half.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage there on the HK. Vidasi doing a good job of helping them sneak over into AE, but they're going to have to protect them. And actually, it looks like there's going to be a little bit of a counter push coming in. They're going to bring down the HK. That's going to be HK going down. Can they pick up anybody else? Trip is very low. And Roland is actually going to find himself on the Charnock. Can Trip and Charnock make something happen? It's actually the Amani who's stealth. No, actually, Charnock passed through Amani's stealth. And where's the Margrave? Margrave looking for a play. Maybe he's going to be able to get onto one of the targets. And there's Trip. Can she pick up somebody? She jukes in, jukes out, and they aren't able to lock down a single kill. They've actually got their Charnock stepping very far forward, doing a lot of damage. Trip goes back in again. Can she pick up the HK? She gets zoned out. She gets CC'd. She's getting burned down. Is anybody going to die from this fight? But Aussie keeping everybody alive. She's keeping alive the HK. HK taking a lot of damage, but HK is going to go down. Are they going to be able to keep anybody else alive?
Yeah, with the HK going down, I don't think they have the potential to siege this anymore. And oh, Amani gets taken down as well. Really great play so far, and here comes the rest of the push. Charnock goes in for it, and he's going to be doing
this could be huge. Roland has everybody. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. They're going to get one. They're going to get two. HK goes in. Here's Trip on top of Amani. Vidasi, she's going to bring him down. Now they're going to turn onto the creature. That's going to be a huge turnaround coming over for Lana.
Yep, and HK is looking to see what he can do there. Focus goes out, takes too many targets, very low, but doesn't finish any of them. And it looks like that's going to be the disengage. Really great play by Lana, and they're actually able to basically bring the push back into their favor. 5-4 is the kill score, and at this point, we're going to have to see what Alpha do something, make a pick somewhere in order to get back in and get the first push of the game.
Yeah, it's super, super close. What Alpha, they're going to be under a lot of pressure, especially with their Romani player. Romani's really going to have to start landing her shots. Maybe we'll see some good slow bowl combinations to set up a lot of the AoE damage that What Alpha has, but we haven't actually seen that much.
Yeah, we really haven't. So,
they're all there. They're all there.
I also want to see how much protection Amani can get here with Vidasi, because that's something that really makes or breaks the team. Because when you run Amani, you really have to make sure that you can rotate back if anyone, especially Trip, jumps on her, because Trip can burst down Amani so very quickly if Amani doesn't know it's coming. So they're going to have to rely on team callouts, and they're going to have to make sure that Margrave can get back to stun up Trip whenever she tries to go for Amani.
They're going to need to start aggressing. The power gauge is going to turn over in the favor of Lana very, very quickly. They really only need to wait it out. They are going to be able to wait it out, and that's going to be the first push going over to Lana. What Alpha, they're going to need to start backing up, or at least looking to gain some power generation.
Yeah, alternatively, if they feel confident, they can also go for a team fight here, but they need to make sure that they, first of all, don't commit too much to the team fight, because if anyone sneaks around the back,
Trip's on top of Amani. She's actually going to get stunned up by the Margrave. Good defense there by the side of What Alpha. Now Vidasi doing her best to heal everybody. This could be a huge play. They're looking to jump on top of the HK. There's going to be the Charnock ultimate coming in. Charnock ultimate doing a ton of damage. Vidasi is very, very low. She is burning, but she's keeping all the rest of her team alive. And now Trip doing what she can to jump on top of the enemy Gnosis, or enemy Charnock, but no dice. They actually are going to pick up the kill. Vidasi's going to get one. Can Charnock get in there and get a second one? They're pushing forward very, very deep. What Alpha under a lot of pressure. Charnock using that detonate to get himself up in the air. They've got a lot of burning going. Are they going to be able to push forward and get this wound as the Guardian is vulnerable? Trip goes forward. There is a decent amount of shield here, but it's going to take a little while. Vidasi is there as well. She's healing herself up. And can she get near anything? She's actually going to keep them alive. They're going to bring down the Trip. No, Trip's alive, and they get the wound.
Yep, the wound, long-range damage, able to take that out. Margaret goes down as well. Can they take any other return kills? Charnock is seeing what he can do to make sure he cleans up anyone right now. Hot Hail is off of cooldown. Let's see where he decides to place that, if anywhere. It's a 1v3, so he still has to be careful. And Vidasi is there. Oh, Trip comes back into the fight. Trip almost takes him out. One more auto attack is going to be able to do it. He goes invisible with Amani's invisibility field, the smoke screen, and he is actually going to be able to make it out alive.
Oh, huge damage coming in from the Naga. That's actually going to slow them down a lot. And there's a lot of members very, very low for the side of Lana. They're going to need to back up and play very, very safe before their next engagement. Vidasi is back up. She'll be able to keep them healed. But both teams have Vidasi, so that's slowing these plays down a lot. Amazing, though, that Trip from the side of Lana was able to go in and get that wound.
And looking at both of these teams, we don't really see too much aggression, especially coming out from What Alpha. What Alpha knows that they just need to wait a little bit. They'll get the passive power damage, and that's all they really need to do. Basically the same thing that Lana did for the last push.
We could almost upgrade something, but we're not going to upgrade the healer, right? I'm going to upgrade.
So the members of Lana are grouping up again. Again, they do not have a tank, so a lot of their play is going to come down to CCing and at least baiting targets in and forcing them to follow their aggression. Trip's done a very, very good job of at least kiting through the enemy team. And they could actually turn things around if they go in for a very, very aggressive engagement or bait out the counter engagement from the side of What Alpha. What Alpha right now, they're looking to wait things out. They have the passive power generation. They're upgrading their creatures. They actually, as you know, they need to upgrade their creatures. But there's the call play to go in. Charnock and Roland doing a lot of damage. They're burning down the HK. In goes the Trip. She's going to slip through and get one of those kills. Now looking to pick up a second. Can she get anybody else here? Charnock is taking a lot of damage. Margrave is actually right on top of some of their squishy targets. They need to get the Vidasi out of there. Vidasi's going to survive, and Trip helps pick up that kill. Now Roland doing a lot of good damage to the enemy Roland. It's going to be the duel. Actually, no, they're onto the Vidasi. Vidasi is very, very low. Vidasi v Vidasi. Can one of them pick up the other? That's going to be the focus coming up for Vidasi. But Trip comes in. She picks up one. Can she get the Amani? She's going to dash herself away. They're going to pick up the Amani off the back end of that fight. Charnock is there to zone out the Roland and stop the push. Actually, Amani survived. So that's going to be a great play coming in from the side of What Alpha. They managed to get through that play without losing too many members.
Yeah, and I honestly think that What Alpha would have actually been better off not pushing in for that, because they had the push either way, and the biggest thing that they did with that engagement was they gave kills away and gave the
Charnock
shield away.
focus is going to go through. They need a little bit more damage down onto this HK. HK is going to go down. Charnock manages to pick him up. Now it's going to be the turn play coming in from Lana. They're going to use the mortar. They knock away the Margrave, and now he's going to go down kill. Going over to the Charnock. He's going to stay alive. That's going to be the slow. They're going on to Vidasi. Maybe they can bring her down as well. They don't have that much remaining CC. They're going to need to get a really nice mortar in from the HK, and huge damage from that HK machine gun for the slow. They have picked up the wound. Actually, no, they lost the wound. So that's 1 for 1 on the side of Lana. Lana didn't even go back and defend that. They're just looking for these kills to set up their next play.
Yeah, and set up their next play is exactly what they've been doing. 2/3 of their power bar is full, and they also have 2 upgraded creatures. Their forward one is also...
Trip brings down the Gnosis and dies for it.
And the forward point is also a Cyclops as well, so that's going to be super tanky. Margrave goes in for it. Chain Gun is burning down Charnock and just barely ends up getting the kill at the very end. But HK has to run away from the fight. He is way too low to continue. Margrave sticking around, making sure that they don't try to take out this bloomer while they're at it.
Yep, they did just get more or less an instant wound, so this is going to be Lana grouping up for their next push. There's not a lot of power on the side of What Alpha, so they're going to need to play very, very defensively. They need to set up this Amani for success. They need to get their tanks in forward. They need to get Amani protected. Vidasi either needs to stay with her or the HK, and they just need to lay in some threat, because right now Amani's not able to do much, and that's going to be the next push. They have got very little power. If the Guardian pushes too quickly and they do not stop it, that's going to be another wound.
Yeah, and another wound is definitely not what they want to happen. So building up the shield, obviously a couple ways you can do that. You can attack the enemy Guardian when it pushes up, steal some power, you can get kills, and your passive power regeneration is also going to help you get the shield as well, because shield is built the same way that normal power is built. So that's going to be something that they can't exactly rely on. They're going to have to make a play. They're going to have to get some kills in order to get the shield. And they're all going through E. You hear the coach in the background telling them about that play, and it looks like they're going in for it. The bloomer is there. It's going to use its full heal ability.
Huge damage coming in from the Roland. Roland has his focus up, but they're going to have to dodge away for this Margrave. Margrave goes in, gets the knockup. They're doing so much damage with that Charnock. Ultimately, the Charnock from What Alpha is going to bring down so many targets. Vidasi keeping the tank alive, but they're losing the wound. Trip has managed to sneak into the back end, and she picks up the wound for the side of Lana.
And that's exactly what I was saying earlier. You don't want to commit too much to a fight, because someone can easily sneak around, and while you're in the middle of a team fight, you're focused on the enemy team, you're focused on your team, you're focused on not dying, you're not focused on the minimap, so you can't really see that one person go through. You always need to have someone watching the minimap and ready to rotate back, and unfortunately they didn't, so Trip was able to take the wound for them, force it into clash, and the creatures are pretty much even. There's one more upgraded creature on the side of Lana at the moment, but creatures can still be upgraded in clash.
Ooh, Trip taking a lot of damage. She's going to get burned down. If they land one more auto, she's using every juke she's got. Can they get it? Vidasi comes in for the heal. Burst heals her back up to full health, so she'll be able to get out of there. But that was a super, super aggressive play by the side of Lana. They cannot afford to give up kills. They can actually turn things around and end the game if they can manage to get a really good team fight here.
And the team fight is exactly what they're looking for. So HK in the center of the map, again, getting hit by Vidasi, and Vidasi is one of the big playmakers and game changers of the game, and there's one on both teams.
Ooh, Charnock very, very low. He needs to get some healing in from that Vidasi. If they land any abilities on him, he's likely to go down.
Yep, and Vidasi, as we keep saying, is super impactful in this game. Able to keep the poke war at a minimum and basically rely on full-on engagements, which is something that's kind of weird when you're running an Amani as well, because against an Amani, if you have Vidasi, that's something that doesn't necessarily negate it out, but it does a good job in basically rendering her poke a little bit less useful. And so they really need Trip to go in for Amani anytime they decide to fight, and they're probably going to be able to take the team fights if they do that. So both teams know that the power, one kill is going to make a huge difference.
Yeah, especially because fighting a man down right now is really, really rough. Although the Amani, she's finally starting to land some of those snipe shots. She's almost picked off Charnock multiple times. Vidasi said he has pretty much everything she has to heal him back up. So for the moment, Lana they're not too far ahead. It's not as if What Alpha can't turn things around, but for the moment, they really need that Amani to get like a couple of headshots. Like Amani has to start paying dividends.
And remember, a lot of these players have only been a part of their team for about 2 or 3 days. They've made their teams here at PAX East, and they've just been practicing over all the course of Saturday, some of Sunday, and here we are with the tournament for the semifinal match. So not a lot of time to prepare whatsoever, but some of the communication that we've been seeing so far has been on point. We've seen a lot of great initiations. Like I said, go switches all day with both Gnosis and Margrave. That's something that you can really count on. As long as your team can follow up, those initiations are super strong.
Yep, Trip taking a little bit of damage there, does get burned down a bit, and both teams sort of playing the waiting game. In the end, the first push is going to go over to the side of What Alpha. So Pleasure Castle, if they want to make an aggressive play, they sort of have the leeway to. They've chosen not to. Trip actually finally is stealthing forward, is looking for a target. She's going to sneak up as high as she can and look for someone. She's going for the Amani. Can she bring her down? She's doing a lot of damage. Amani is going to stealth herself out, and Trip is going to start off this play.
Evan, Trip does start off the play, so both of these teams really need to make sure they group together and stay clumped up. That's something that is super important when you're coming into Clash, because if one person tries to engage and all 5 of you are there, unless that person has a huge stun that can lock them all up like Margrave, in which case you want to split up for. But other than that, if everyone collapses on that one target before anyone else can respond, that would be a huge counter initiation that either team can capitalize on. So that's part of the reason why both of these teams are being really careful, is that they're all sticking together, staying near Vidasi, getting the heals, and making sure that they don't lose the poke war. The power race is actually pretty close, but Lana needs to do something right now if they want to get the push.
No, they're not going to get the push. They're going to try and play defensive, stay grouped up, and pick up the wounds afterwards. So they're going to go for the defense. They've got okay power generation. Guardian's about to move forward, so they're going to look to be able to try and get a full team wipe and turn things around. The Guardian is now down. That's a lot of shield generation, and in comes the Margrave. Looks like it's going to be Vidasi and Margrave together. Charnock doing a lot of damage. He's going to get so much onto this Amani. Amani going very low. She's going to jump away. The Guardian actually got wounded, so Amani picked up 3 shots to do that, and now it's all about whether or not Lana can pick up at least one more kill. They need somebody to get this Amani or the Vidasi. They're going to go right onto the Charnock, pick up the kill, and that's going to be almost enough power for them to make something happen.
Yeah, and the biggest point of that play was not only did they take a wound, but they got out alive, and they got some exit kills too. They got 2 exit kills. Look at their power bar. After taking a wound, you almost never see a full power bar. That is killing the enemy team after you take the power bar. It's so difficult to do, but Lana has done it, and they might be able to turn this game around and win it during Clash.
Yep, Lana looking to
attack the Guardian. Build your focus.
Apologies. Lana looking to make something happen here. Their Trip is snuck up around the side, looking for probably the Amani or the HK. HK is actually a lot harder to kill than people would think. And they're going to try and stay grouped. And they can just sort of wait it out for the moment. They don't have to go in. Their passive power generation is going to be enough for them. And right now it's just this massive heal pool for Amani just to keep everybody alive while they try and play.
Yeah, just wait for our Guardian
You've
to
been looking at both teams again, playing the poke war, but it is really, a lot of times I want to see more aggressiveness when you're in Clash, because when you're behind in power, that's the time you want to do something. You can't wait until they start pushing up, because it might be too late at that point. If the enemy team is too coordinated, they can rush down, they can swarm the Guardian with all 5 of them, and it's not entirely impossible to just force your way through, brute force it, and take out the Guardian, especially when you have someone who's long range, like HK, who can hit it from the back lines, and a bunch of people like Charnock and like Margrave, who can get in pretty close, do a lot of AoE burst damage, and try to take down the Guardian. So this might be the end of the game. They really need a full team wipe here.
Yep, everybody from the side of Lana pushing up. Trip is going to start going in. She's actually waiting for the rest of her team to go in. Roland goes in, throws through a little bit of the stun. The mortar's actually going to miss from HK, and now HK doing what he can. He's going to start rotating around the side. They need a little bit more damage. The Charnock ultimate goes through, and that's going to be the first game of this set going over to Lana.
Just a little bit too much hesitation and indecisiveness at the end. Lana got the push without really getting contested for the shield. That's really what made that game happen.